Harriet Tubman's life is one of profound faith, bravery, and unyielding determination. Born into slavery, yet destined to be a liberator, her story is filled with miraculous encounters, daring escapes, and a faith-inspired fight for justice that continues to resonate today. Born Araminta Minty Ross around 1822 in Dorchester County, Maryland, Harriet Tubman would later come to be known as the Moses of her people, as she defied insurmountable odds, risking her life to lead others to freedom. From a young age, she endured the brutal realities of slavery, including harsh physical labor and relentless abuse. Despite the oppressive environment, Tubman's mother instilled in her a deep faith in God, teaching her to trust in divine providence. Harriet was constantly beaten and whipped by her slave master, and as a testament to the cruel life of slavery she faced, at the young age of 12, Tubman suffered a severe head injury when an overseer struck her with a heavy weight while she protected a fellow slave. The injury left her with lifelong seizures and vivid visions, which she interpreted as messages from God. These experiences became central to her faith and would later guide her in her missions. Finally, in 1849, Tubman made the life-altering decision to escape from slavery. Guided by her faith and determination, she fled north to Philadelphia, leaving behind her family and the only life she had ever known. The journey to freedom was perilous as she navigated through treacherous terrain and evaded slave catchers who offered bounties for her capture. Tubman attributed her safe passage to divine intervention. She recounted how dreams and visions warned her of danger and directed her to safe routes. On one occasion, she felt an inexplicable urge to change her path, only to learn later that slave catchers were lying in wait on the original route. Such moments reinforced her belief that God was her protector and guide. After weeks of travel, Tubman reached Philadelphia, a free state. She described the moment as a revelation.
When I found I had crossed that line, I looked at my hands to see if I was the same person. There was such a glory over everything. The sun came like gold through the trees and over the fields, and I felt like I was in heaven.
However, Tubman could not rest in her newfound freedom, knowing that her family, friends, and many others remained in bondage. And so, over the next decade, she made approximately 13 trips back south to Maryland to rescue more than 70 enslaved people through the Underground Railroad. The Underground Railroad was a collective name given to the informal network of free and enslaved black people, white abolitionists, anti-slavery activists, and safe houses. Her missions were fraught with immense danger. Slave catchers patrolled the routes, and the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 increased the risks by allowing escaped slaves to be captured even in free states. Nevertheless, Tubman's courage was unmatched. Armed with little more than her faith, she led groups through swamps, forests, and back roads under the cover of night, using songs and codes to communicate and subterfuge to escape detection. She was determined to support the newly rescued slaves by guiding them farther north into British North America and helping these people find work. While Harriet Tubman was deeply committed to freeing as many people as possible, her recorded words and actions reflect a profound sense of compassion and understanding of the immense fear and risks enslaved people faced in seeking freedom. Many enslaved individuals were aware of their bondage, but were held back by the terrifying prospect of capture, violent punishment, and the loss of family connections. However, Tubman worked to overcome these fears, inspiring confidence in those she led. One of her most famous sayings reflected her unwavering determination.
I never ran my train off the track, and I never lost a passenger.
If you have watched this far, please like this video and consider subscribing to our channel so we can bring you more interesting content. Now back to our story. Tubman relied heavily on prayer and divine guidance during her missions. She would often pause in the midst of an operation to pray for direction and to consult with God, claiming that God spoke to her through her dreams and thoughts. On several occasions, she led groups to safety despite severe weather and the threat of armed pursuers, crediting their survival to God's protection. Tubman's adventurous escapes were often filled with risks, suspense, and miraculous events. In one instance, she was nearly captured when a slave catcher approached the group she was leading. In an act of quick thinking, she pretended to read a newspaper, a skill she did not possess, as she was illiterate. The ruse worked, however, and the man dismissed her as an unlikely fugitive. On another occasion, Tubman and her group were cornered with no apparent escape route. She prayed fervently and then led the group into an icy river. Against all odds, they crossed safely, avoiding capture. Tubman later said that she trusted God to part the waters as he had done for Moses in the Bible. Her resourcefulness and reliance on faith in trying times made her missions legendary. Tubman's ability to stay calm under pressure and make split-second decisions saved countless lives. As she led rescued slaves across the border, she would call out,
"Glory to God and Jesus too. One more soul is safe."
Tubman's faith was the cornerstone of her life and work. She believed she was called by God to liberate the oppressed, comparing her mission to that of Moses leading the Israelites out of Egypt. Thus, her courage stemmed from the conviction that she was carrying out God's will. During the Civil War, Tubman expanded her role in the fight for justice. She worked as a nurse, cook, scout, and spy for the Union Army. Her most notable contribution came in 1863 when she led the Combahee River Raid in South Carolina, helping to free over 700 slaves. It was a miraculous and strategic operation, with Tubman once again attributing its success to divine guidance. Harriet Tubman succumbed to pneumonia on March 10, 1913. Harriet Tubman's life is a beacon of hope and inspiration to us in many ways. Her faith-driven decisions, bravery, and miraculous escapes mirror struggles faced by individuals and communities today. Her fight against slavery parallels modern struggles against systemic injustice, human trafficking, and inequality. Her story is a timeless testament to the power of faith and action in confronting these oppressions. Tubman's reliance on prayer and visions resonates with those who seek God's guidance in challenging circumstances. Her life illustrates that faith can illuminate even the darkest paths. Tubman's courage empowered those she led to freedom, inspiring them to believe in their worth and potential. Today, her story encourages individuals to lift others out of despair and bondage, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual. Harriet Tubman's life exemplifies the transformative power of faith, courage, and selflessness. Like the Nigerian apostle, Joseph Ayo Babalola, she trusted in God's miraculous power and acted boldly in the face of danger. Her story continues to inspire people of all backgrounds, reminding us that with faith and determination we can overcome the impossible. Harriet Tubman was more than a liberator. She was a paragon of the belief that God can use anyone to bring light to a dark world, regardless of their circumstances. Her legacy endures, urging us to stand for justice, trust in divine guidance, and never lose hope. Thank you for watching. For more incredible and awe-inspiring testimonies on men and women of faith, please like this video, share, and subscribe to Faith Reflections 247. Stay blessed.